And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered in multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old championship Monday. March Madness comes to a conclusion tonight. Gonzaga, Baylor, who's going to be crowned champions? We just saw the women's championship get crowned yesterday, and that came down to the last shot. We just saw Gonzaga in the Final Four hit a wild three-point buzzer beater to win, so hopefully this championship game can kind of live up to what we've already been seeing in March Madness so far. So gonna be a great one. I think it's tipping off at like 9 o'clock tonight. So a little bit of a later start, unfortunately. But we'll kind of talk about that briefly, kind of summarize our bracket as well. We'll be continuing on our NFL draft prospect of the day. We're going to be looking at Tyson Campbell, cornerback from Georgia, seeing what that man can do, seeing if our team should draft that man. And we are only 24 days away from the NFL draft, so absolutely cannot wait. Let's see who our future of our teams is going to look like, folks. And then, as always, breaking down what happened in the NBA last night, doing a moneymaker for tonight's action and all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into it here today. First story up, Jets may keep Sam Darnold and draft a quarterback at number 2 overall. I think that, I think that's kind of a solid choice there. Like I said, I mean, they're bringing in a rookie head coach who's never been a head coach before, Robert Saleh, who's kind of a defensive-minded head coach. Sam Darnold's been here for a couple of seasons, kind of get a nice kind of offensive perspective of the Jets organization a little bit. Nice little decent veteran presence out there to kind of make that transition for Robert Saleh a little bit easier. Let Robert Saleh go get the quarterback he wants in the draft, but then this season, I mean, there's still pressure on him this season. Everything still needs to look smooth and look at least competent out there. I mean, if Robert Saleh comes in here year one, got rid of Sam Darnold, trusted this rookie quarterback, and they went like 1-16 now because there's 17 games now being played. 17. What if they're the first 0-17 team? I mean, that would just put an instant red X on Robert Saleh's coaching career right off the rip. So yeah, play it a little bit safe. I've got no problem with that. Let Sam Darnold kind of take the bulk of the work, maybe even just in the first half of the season if they draft the quarterback at number 2, and then, implement the rookie quarterback midway through the season once he's kind of gotten acclimated to the NFL a little bit, or just keep Sam Darnold for the entire season. Let him run and let the rookie quarterback kind of be the backup for the entire season. Then when Robert Saleh has kind of a nice kind of year one under his belt, the rookie learned from Sam Darnold a little bit, maybe even saw some action. Maybe Sam Darnold was blowing out some teams in some games and was up 40-0 in the fourth quarter and the backup got in for an entire quarter, maybe something like that. And then next season, come 2022, when Sam Darnold played the entire 2021 season and maybe even looked good, maybe he looked like a team would want to kind of have him for 3 or 4 seasons. Maybe then Robert Saleh could have gotten a nice draft pick for Sam Darnold if they trade him during the 2021-2022 mid-season or off-season. They trade Sam Darnold, get another pick to help out Robert Saleh going into year 2, who already just kind of solidified a base year 1. So I definitely think it's a smart decision to keep Sam Darnold and draft a quarterback. Or if Robert Saleh is already dead set on keeping Sam Darnold, go and get a nice skill player at number 2. There's running backs, there's wide receivers decently deep in this draft, and they're going to have the kind of their pick of the crop because we all know, Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 overall to Jacksonville. So yeah, I've got no problem with this. Keep Sam Darnold, trade Sam Darnold. I definitely think keeping him is the better option right here, just to ease in that transition of Robert Saleh, a defensive-minded head coach. So we'll see what the Jets do. They've got 24 days to kind of decide what they want to do with Sam Darnold before the draft, or we might be seeing a trade on draft night, Sam Darnold maybe for some extra picks. So we'll keep an eye on the Jets here with Sam Darnold and their decisions, but I definitely think it's a smart move to keep Sam Darnold and draft a quarterback this season. Alrighty, moving on. Sean Payton here. Sean Payton, Drew Brees' retirement won't fully hit until Saints offseason workouts start. Drew Brees isn't just kind of an on-field player. We know that this man is a fantastic leader. If you have ever heard any of his pre-game speeches, you would want to run through a brick wall for this man. He gets me pumped up. I know we've listened to him on the show a couple of times of just kind of the sheer difference of kind of, Drew Brees' kind of leadership and, pre-game speeches compared to, Jameis Winston, the let's eat a W, the infamous pre-game speech of his. So Sean Payton knew the retirement was coming, didn't love it, definitely is going to miss him a little bit. Sean Payton and Drew Brees, I think we have to kind of talk about them as kind of, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. The coach-quarterback duo really just got it done, dominant really every single season. Just truly unfortunate that, Brees and Sean Payton only got to one Super Bowl and only won one ring, unlike Bill Belichick and Tom Brady where they got 6. So, that's the only disparity. That's really the only main difference between Sean Payton and Drew Brees compared to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They all had success and all have broken numerous amount of records. It's just the rings. It's really lopsided with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So Sean Payton's definitely going to miss that kind of leadership and that dependability. You could always count on Drew Brees to go and get it done. If you were down 14 in the fourth quarter and you had Drew Brees, you really weren't sweating too much, honestly. All right, he'll go get it done. We can easily score a 75-yard touchdown pass right off the rip, be down one possession, and we'll feel good at that point. But with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill both being kind of the next man up, we're still not sure. Sean Payton goes into some quotes here in this article about, it's definitely going to be a true competition. It's kind of 50-50 right now on who's going to start. So not only is Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill going to have to perform on the field, they're also going to have to perform off the field because that's what Drew Brees brought to the Saints team every single season. So they're not just missing a nice, talented quarterback. They're missing a huge, great veteran leader who knows what it takes to win in this league, who knows what it takes to be consistent in this league, to be consistently competitive in games. So, and Jameis Winston doesn't know what that feels like. The man was slinging it in Tampa Bay. He had no regards for interceptions or touchdowns or anything. That's why he went 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions in a season. The man was just slinging it. He does not know what it takes to win consistently. He never even won consistently. I think the most he ever won in a season was like 8 or 9 games. That's not winning consistently. That is nothing that Drew Brees does. I don't even know how many times Drew Brees went 8-8 in a season. Let's get that up real quick. Let me see if I can pull up this really quickly here. I want to say that he's only went 8-8 maybe twice. Maybe. Let's see what we get here. All right, we'll just go through these very quickly, starting from 2002 to 2020 here. 8-8 the first season, then 2-9 his second season, but he only played 11 games. 11-4, 9-7, 10-6, 7-9. All right, so that was a bad season by him, so we'll count that as one. Then he went 8-8, so we'll count another one too. 13-2, 11-5, 13-3, then back to 7-9, 11-5. Then he had 3 straight seasons of very not good records, but great stats. He threw for 4,900 yards, 4,800 yards, 5,000 yards over this 2014 to 2016 stretch, but the records were 7-9, 7-8, 7-9. So that was a little bit of a bad stretch there, but then he cleaned it up, 11-5, 13-2, and then just his last 2 seasons, truly unfortunate here, 8-3, because he got injured, and then 9-3. So he got injured those seasons, but still was winning more games than Jameis Winston did playing the entire season. So he knows what it takes to win, folks, consistently. So Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, whoever wins that starting job, has to step it up in the leadership department. We get a decent sense of what Taysom Hill can kind of bring to leadership. We've seen him kind of fill in for a couple of games this season when Drew Brees was out, and we've also kind of seen him play along with Drew Brees because they use Taysom Hill as kind of a trick player out there, lining up at the tight end or just kind of doing some end around things. So the guys buy into him a little bit more. The guys maybe respect him a little bit more because they've been able to play with him for a little bit longer. Where Jameis Winston, coming from Tampa Bay, like we said, that I will never forgive and I will never forget that infamous "Let's eat a W" speech. Nobody was buying into it. Jameis Winston was doubling down on it, biting on it, chewing on and sucking on his own fingers, and there was just crickets. Nobody wanted to play for him. I think, honestly, teams wanted to play for the opposing team and, like, sack Jameis Winston based off that one speech alone. So we'll see what Jameis Winston has learned leadership-wise from Drew Brees, but I'm definitely open for this competition. I want to see who goes out there and wins it, because I love what I saw from Taysom Hill in those kind of short few games from this season that he played. And, I mean, Jameis Winston, he threw for 5,000 yards, so I got to give him some respect there at least. I mean, Drew Brees threw for 5,000 yards, and that's the only thing that Drew Brees and Jameis Winston have in common. They both have thrown for 5,000 yards in a single season. Now, Drew Brees has done it 5 times, where Jameis Winston has only done it once, but hey, you still did it, and there's only like 8 quarterbacks in this league who have done it. So we'll see who wins this quarterback competition. Should be a great one. And whoever doesn't get that starting role, I think they're still going to get kind of worked into the offense at some point. You know, kind of somebody's going to have to make up for that Taysom Hill role if Taysom Hill becomes that starting quarterback. And Jameis Winston isn't the fastest, but maybe they kind of put him out there for some trick plays. Or if, you know, Jameis Winston wins the starting job, then Taysom Hill can stay at that tight end position and still kind of run some of the same offense that they ran with Drew Brees. So we'll see what happens here. Still a long offseason. It's still a possibility that the Saints draft a quarterback as well. I don't think they do that, but that would still be a possibility, having those 2 quarterbacks and the rookie all competing for the starting job. But we'll see what Sean Payton decides to do. See if he kind of puts leadership and skill, kind of how he's going to kind of rank the quarterback battle on what kind of really matters more, just sheer talent or talent with leadership. And we'll see which quarterback comes out on top. Alrighty, oh boy, this is a dangerous one to talk about, but we're going to talk about it. Here we go. Bucks cornerback Carlton Davis, absolutely magnificent this season for the Bucks' success defensively. So he got into a little bit of hot water yesterday on Twitter. So he used an anti-Asian slur on Twitter. So that's the crime that he is accused of committing. So let's get that original tweet up. He deleted it. He did delete it. So this is the official tweet from Carlton Davis here. Gotta stop letting the word blank in Miami. And the anti-Asian slur is a G word. If you know your racist slurs, it's the G word. So he tweeted that out. Then deleted it because I'm sure his manager or his agent called him as soon as he tweeted that. It was like, you need to delete that now. It's never a good thing when you tweet something as kind of like a big celebrity or professional athlete, and then 2 seconds later your phone rings. You know you done messed up, and I'm sure that's how it went there for Carlton Davis. So he tweeted, gotta stop letting blank in Miami. Got a lot of pushback, deleted the tweet, all of that, and then he issues an apology, and this is his apology right here. I used a term that from where I come from has always meant, quote, lame, but I did not realize it has become much darker negative connotation. I have learned a valuable lesson, and I want to apologize to anyone that was offended by seeing the word, because we need to focus on helping each other, and that's a fantastic apology. He explained why he did it. Hey, I thought this word meant lame, really. Where I'm from, everybody uses it as just lame, so that's what I was using it at, just lame. Now, it does have different connotations, depending on, the situation, and that's really the key, man. Situations in this cancel culture is just absolutely, I think we can all agree that cancel culture is just literally the dumbest thing ever. Can we all relax a little bit? Can we all take off of our, like high horses? Can we all get off of our high horses, please? No, I don't think anybody is really actively trying to go out and, cause hate and cause harm to a big segment of a group or of a population. Yes, there are racists out there that you can't do anything about that. You can try to educate them. I would say 99% of the population is educated and is tolerant and understands, hey, I'm not trying to hurt anybody out here, but we're people, folks. People are not all the same, and people are just sometimes wild out there, just doing wild things. And it's unfortunate. You can't stop it. You're never going to be able to end racism. It's just not going to happen. People are, they just are, little small-minded out there and don't understand or don't care or don't realize or whatever it is, but you're not going to stop at 100%. But let's get back to Carlton Davis here. I would say this is a fantastic apology. Like I said, he kind of clarified, hey, I thought this is what it was meant. This is what I was kind of using it. I was just kind of using the word to mean lame because that's where I'm from in my experience. And that's another huge thing I want to bring up. Your experience. Not everybody has the same experience. Not everybody kind of uses the same vernacular, all the same. I know I'm blabbing out words here left and right that, I use that I kind of, beef. I say beef down low. They got big beef down low. I know, you can take that out of context and it's funny, but that's just kind of where I kind of grew up and just kind of my vernacular, and it's easy and it describes everything perfectly and I can just say it quickly. So, just experiences and just different kind of vernacular and connotations of what you're kind of using the word to mean. Now, obviously, you can definitely come up with a better word than this one, so you shouldn't have a problem kind of substituting, that word for lame now. All right, and then he apologizes. I have learned a valuable lesson, took something away from it, and is going to, has the call of action. He's going to not use the word anymore because he knows what it is now. So I think it's a fantastic apology. Hopefully nothing bad comes out of this. We all know the big anti-Asian hate, whether it's real or manufactured. I mean, it shouldn't make a difference. I mean, honestly, I still don't understand why we all, why we have to be told 24/7 to kind of start respecting each other. I don't understand why people don't in the first place and why we need constant reminders. I don't think it does anything. Obviously, we still have the same problems today back in 1940. Now, has it gotten a little better? Yeah, I would say it's gotten a little better, but the same things are still happening, and we're still using the same cause of action to try to fix those problems. It doesn't work. So we got to try a new approach, but that's a different conversation, I guess. But yeah, Carlton Davis out here, not good, but then good for the apology. And I don't think he's gotten that much bad pushback on this. I think a lot of people are kind of, a little understanding of him a little bit. And when we kind of investigate his kind of claim a little bit further of, he thought, that word, that G word meant lame. If you go to Urban Dictionary, somebody actually posted this in the screenshot in the reply. If you actually go to Urban Dictionary, that word right there, that G word, a term commonly used in South Florida where he's from, which he said, hey, where I'm from in South Florida, that's what we use out here. So in Urban Dictionary, a term commonly used in South Florida to describe a person who is lame. So his excuse, his reasoning has merit, and I think we all have to accept his apology 100% that he truly did not understand the full aspect of what he was doing out there, or of that tweet. So I've got no problem with the apology. I think it's fantastic. The reason for apologies, folks, is for us to move on. That's like the same thing with like jail and like serving a sentence. You commit a crime, you do the time, and then you're still getting shit on after that time. It's like basically Michael Vick, the dog fighting, got arrested for it, or not arrested for. I don't know what he got arrested for, but he went to jail, served time, and now people still bash the man. It's like, we're human, we make mistakes, and we have, institutions in place that be like, hey, you made a mistake, this is how you're supposed to pay for it, and then you're still, getting slacked and, just kind of, I don't know, you're still getting kind of slandered by everybody. It's like, then what's the point of apologizing? What's the point of going to jail if you're still not going to be forgiven after? You don't have to be forgiven 100%, but you still got to kind of, accept these people back into society and treat them like normal human beings. I mean, you have to learn lessons. I mean, that's what life's about, just learning lessons, getting better, and moving forward in life. But a lot of people don't care. You make the one mistake once, you're garbage for the rest of your life. You are the devil for the rest of your life. So I don't know, man. I mean, now this tweet, this word does not affect me in any way. I'm not Asian. I'm not Pacific Islander, whatever, the umbrella of that term, covers. But, so obviously, me accepting that apology does nothing. It's the ones who are affected should be the ones that kind of, their accepting of the apology really matters the most. But I mean, honestly, I think this is I think everything should be fine from this moment on. Don't think he should get any more backlash if he is getting backlash at all. I think the apology is fine. I just think, unfortunately, he used a bad word that, where he's from has a different connotation. Not everything is racist 24/7, folks. It's like if you say one thing about like a different ethnicity or like a minority, you're 100% racist. No, it's just where I come from. Those words or those kind of stereotypes, not always trying to like bring down people. It's just stuff the community around me says. So I've got no problem with the apology. So that's where we'll leave it at, I guess. That's really all to say. It's tough. It's a tough thing to dance around because if you say one bad thing, like now you're, like we said, you're instantly Hitler. You're instantly the devil. So, we'll just leave it at that. Hopefully nothing bad comes from this from Carlton Davis, because we told you we're Bucs fans now, folks. We are Tampa Bay Bucs fans out here now because they're bringing the band back together, and they're going to be competing for another ring out here. So hopefully Carlton Davis does not get fade into oblivion because of this tweet. Alrighty, here we go. NFL tweets out who has the toughest schedule going into 2021. So let's let this play. Let's see who's going to have the easiest schedule. Let's see who's going to have the hardest schedule, and let's talk about it. So here we go. The first one up, the Steelers have the hardest strength of schedule. Ooh boy, going into 2021. So that's not really great. We just kind of saw the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger flounder at the back half of the season. Big Ben's arm kind of giving out a little bit on kind of the velocity and the accuracy and the deep ball ability a little bit late in the season. So now he's going to go through all that again because he's still aging. Aging does not stop here. So he's still aging. The arm's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. I mean, that's just natural. I mean, now Tom Brady doesn't apply to that rule, but still everybody else does. So that's not going to be great for Big Ben. He's got even a harder schedule now. So let's see if they can make it work. They definitely got to get a run game if they want to kind of tackle the hardest schedule here in the NFL. All right, the second hardest schedule goes to the Ravens, and kind of, tough here as well. I mean, they haven't really been able to kind of make a deep playoff push with Lamar Jackson. Now the schedule's getting hard. They still don't really have that deep ball game in action. So if they want to kind of tackle this, like the Steelers to tackle their hardest season, they need to get a running back. And for the Ravens to tackle this second hardest schedule of 2021, they're going to have to go and get a nice kind of deep ball, deep threat wide receiver. So tough for them. And I think, did they just get rid of their offensive coordinator? Can't remember 100% on that. Oh boy, and here we go. Number 3 here of the hardest schedules of 2021, the Chicago Bears. Not good. Andy Dalton against the third hardest schedule. Good luck. I think we can all say goodbye to Matt Nagy. That man will be fired next season. All right, fourth hardest schedule goes to the Green Bay Packers. Not good. Well, I mean, it's not going to matter. Aaron Rodgers is always good in the regular season, but he can't close it out in the playoffs. So, all right, Green Bay having the fourth hardest schedule, that means nothing. They'll still get into the playoffs. They'll probably win the division, but then it's going to come to the NFC Championship game. How hard is that going to get for, they couldn't have made it any easier for Aaron Rodgers this season. 3 straight interceptions by Tom Brady. Only 3 points cashed out. That's the loss right there, folks. So, the strength of schedule for Green Bay is not going to make a difference here. All right, the fifth hardest schedule goes to Minnesota. They are bringing back Kirk Cousins. We just saw Mike Zimmer at the end of this season say, hey, this was the worst defense I have ever seen, ever been a part of. So they're definitely going to have to get their defensive right for the fifth hardest schedule of the season. Let's see if Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook can get it done, and Justin Jefferson. All right, tied for the 6th hardest here is the Bengals. Not good with Joe Burrow coming off that injury. So, I mean, definitely not making it for the rookie here, having to overcome the injury year 1, having to overcome the 6th hardest schedule in year 2. And then, the tied for the 6th is the Lions. New head coach, Jared Goff, wanting to kind of prove himself here this season to kind of say, hey, Rams, you made a mistake by getting rid of me. So if Jared Goff has some success this year with a rookie head coach for the Lions who's not going to work out, Dan Campbell, what is that? And Dan Campbell's going to have a very, very tough time here. They're not making it easy for him year 1. Definitely not making it easy for Jared Goff to kind of get revenge for the Rams at the 6th hardest schedule. Alrighty, let's see who's up at number 7 here. Alrighty, the 8th hardest schedule, because those two teams are tied for the 6th. The 8th hardest schedule is the Raiders. And once again, not very good for John Gruden here. These coaches, yikes. John Gruden, great in the first half of the season these last 2 years, then flounder off hard in the back end and like missing the playoffs because of that. So 8th hardest schedule here. The Raiders, John Gruden, something's got to give. You've got some nice speedy pieces around you. Derek Carr, I think, can play. I mean, I've got no problem with him being the starter. You got Darren Waller, who's, I would say probably the most lethal, the highest lethal ceiling of a tight end in Darren Waller. So, I mean, it's sink or swim. I mean, they paid the man $100 million to be a coach, and he hasn't really shown us anything that great. And we haven't really seen, besides that Super Bowl win that, everybody says, he didn't create that team. It's not a great overall picture of what John Gruden can do as a coach. So, not getting any easier here in 2021. All right, ninth hardest schedule belongs to the Cleveland Browns, and I don't think they'll have any problem with that. I'm actually excited to watch the Browns this season. They took a huge step last season. The head coach got it right. Kevin Stefanski is great with Baker Mayfield. They know how to call plays. They know how to be great with their pieces that they have. So, bring it on. Bring it on. The ninth hardest schedule for the Browns. They'll be fine. Alrighty, 10th hardest schedule here for the Rams, and I think that's good. I mean, we all know their division is stacked. That's probably, where the strength of that schedule comes from. But, Sean McVay bringing in Matt Stafford should have no problem with this, the 10th hardest schedule. So, Sean McVay, sink or swim as well. You got rid of Jared Goff, so now you should be Super Bowl participants in actually winning it this time. So, all right, the Chiefs tied for the 11th hardest schedule. I mean, it doesn't matter who they face, folks. They're the best team. They lost only one game last season, 2 technically because they rested everybody in the last week. But I mean, they only lost 2 games all season, folks. It doesn't matter who they face. They're fine. They got talent. They got Tyreek Hill. You got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the head coach Andy Reid. I mean, it doesn't matter who everybody else is on your team. They'll be fine. Alrighty, Seahawks, yikes here. Also tied for the 11th hardest schedule here now. I mean, Russell Wilson making all this noise. Pete Carroll kind of saying, hey, I mean, yeah, Russell Wilson, you're good, but hey, don't think you're, untradeable or kind of irreplaceable here. We'll listen to some of these calls here of trading you out. So we'll see how Russell Wilson's able to kind of bring this team back. They just got rid of their offensive coordinator. They kind of floundered in the back half of the season. So not making it easy on Russell Wilson after this kind of huge statement offseason made by everybody involved in the Seahawks organization. Alrighty, tied for 13 here is the Titans. I mean, that's pretty solid for them. That's kind of mid. Now we're starting to get kind of towards the middle of kind of, the average type of schedule. We just saw kind of, the hardest schedules, probably 1 through 7 is, that's truly hard. Everything else is just kind of, even, just kind of off by 1 or 2 games. But tied for 13, Titans. And, they've got great running games. It's just Ryan Tannehill has kind of a little bit of a lower ceiling. We know what this man can do, but we saw him when he has to depend on him just alone winning the game by his pure arm talent alone. That's where we still see things kind of get a little out of control there for the Titans. So they should have decent success here. Derrick Henry can do the bulk of the work here. We see him working out in the offseason, getting right, getting bigger than he already is, getting more dangerous than he already is. So we'll see. I mean, really, this team will go as far as Ryan Tannehill takes them, honestly. They've got pieces everywhere. They did get a little less kind of deep at the wide receiver position, losing Corey Davis, I believe. But we'll see what they can do in the draft. Maybe kind of get another deep threat wide receiver. But it's Ryan Tannehill. He's the one that's holding this team back. So we'll see what he can do next season. Alrighty, let's see who they're tied with here. Oh, the Cardinals. I mean, they just got everybody. They just signed J.J. Watt. The receiving core is absolutely magnificent. So Kyler Murray here, Cliff Kingsbury, they've been getting it done. The defense was actually kind of getting a little bit better towards the end of the season. So this Cardinals team is primed and ready to make a deep run, and they got the 13th hardest schedule. That's kind of right in the middle, folks. There's 32 NFL teams, so tied for 13. That's basically, just kind of average strength of schedule. So, and once again, just kind of their own division is kind of weighing this kind of hardest schedule a little bit more harder than what it actually is. So Cardinals should have no problem here. They've got all the pieces for it, so they should be able to tackle this schedule not too bad out here. Alrighty, tied for 15th now is the Washington football team. And hey, Ron Rivera made it work last season with a little bit of a harder schedule. I think they ended up having a pretty tough schedule. But either way, tied for 15th here, right in the middle of the road here. And for, Tyler Heineke, the quarterback battle, let's see if he can kind of win it over Ryan Fitzpatrick. But I'm definitely excited to see what Washington can do here. And I think, a decent, favorable schedule for them. Look out for them to kind of repeat as division champions. All right, tied for 15th with Washington is the Houston Texans. So we'll see what they can do. We still don't even know if Deshaun Watson's playing. We don't even know if that man's going to get arrested. We don't even know if this man's going to be in the league anymore. So big old question marks here for Houston. Their head coach is going to have to get it done as well. New head coach, because they fired their head coach during the season last season. But not very good here. They would have probably fared a little bit better if they had the easiest schedule because of all their question marks going on. All right, let's keep it up here. Chargers, the 17th hardest schedule. Justin Herbert played absolutely magnificent last season. Now a little bit of an easier schedule here this season. Let's see this man work, and I'm definitely excited to see what this Chargers team can do. Now they do have a new head coach. They got rid of Anthony Lynn, so we'll see if Anthony Lynn was kind of the reason why they were losing all those close games, or if it's just kind of something else that's going on with the Chargers. So let's see how they handle this kind of little bit of an easier schedule. Alrighty, Jaguars have the 18th hardest schedule, and that's great for them, having a new rookie quarterback going in. A little bit of a lighter schedule for him to kind of get acclimated to the league. Watch out for the Jags to take advantage of some of these easier games, possibly put them in a playoff position, depending on how Trevor Lawrence is playing. Already tied for the 19th hardest is the 49ers. We don't know what they're doing with Jimmy G yet. We know they've got, decent defense. We know they are losing Robert Saleh, so we'll see if that defense can still be as good as it has been. But a little bit of an easier season, potentially with the rookie quarterback under Kyle Shanahan. He could make it work. And then also tied 19th with the 49ers is the Jets. All right, so a new head coach here, Robert Saleh. Alrighty, so Robert Saleh, he obviously didn't change teams because he got an easier schedule with the Jets. They had the same kind of hardest schedule here. So, this is going to be interesting to see how the 49ers handle their schedule compared to the Jets now that Robert Saleh was with the 49ers, now with the Jets head coach. Tied 19th hardest schedule, I think that gives a little bit more credence of what we just saw of the Jets keeping Sam Darnold. Hey, we have a little bit of a favorable schedule here. Let's try to take advantage of that, get a nice kind of building blocks under us for this first season. And then, we'll make the decision whether we keep Sam Darnold or, maybe kind of work on this rookie quarterback that we just drafted this year. So, yeah, keep Sammy D there as the starting quarterback in 2020. I think that's fantastic. 2021. Alrighty, let's see who's at number 20 here, or 21. Let's see. Three-way tie for the 19th hardest schedule, and also tied with them is the Patriots. Okay, so they're definitely going to need that. We saw how very lackluster their offense was last season. I mean, they couldn't do anything. Cam Newton had like 6 passing touchdowns. Who else had like 6 passing touchdowns? Alex Smith. So not very good out there, and he didn't even play every single game like Cam Newton did. We'll see kind of how this new look offense, we just saw them spend a ton of money in free agency, getting kind of tier 2 wide receivers and kind of tier 2 tight ends. So we'll kind of see how Cam Newton does with all them. We'll see what they bring in the draft, but a little bit of an easier schedule, helping Bill Belichick out a little bit. Alrighty, now let's see who's at 22 now, or if there's another 19th hardest schedule out here. Alrighty, 11th easiest schedule now is going to the Saints, and wow, I mean, they get rid of Drew Brees, and now they have an easy schedule to implement either Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill a little bit more. So watch out for the Saints, folks. They got an easy schedule with still kind of their roster still pretty much intact. Obviously, losing Drew Brees is a big kind of leap down, but we'll see kind of how Sean Payton can kind of work these quarterbacks into what Drew Brees can do and what his production on the field is. So Saints getting kind of bailed out here with an easy schedule, losing Drew Brees year 1. Alrighty, who is up next? Tied for the 9th easiest schedule is the Buffalo Bills. I mean, do they even need it, folks? I mean, they just got to the AFC Championship game. Damn it. So now the Bills should have no problem getting into the playoffs, getting back to probably a high seed, potentially winning the division as well. And I'm sure the division kind of comes with this a little bit of the kind of the easy schedule with the Patriots, very lackluster offensively, the Jets with the rookie head coach, and we won't even say the Dolphins because they're good out here. Let's stop the disrespect. So the Bills out here, let's see what Josh Allen can do. I mean, he made a great leap from year 2 to year 3. Now he's got an easy schedule out here. There's no reason for this man to flounder or even take a half a step back. So a lot of pressure on Josh Allen to take advantage of the easy schedule out here this season. Let's see who they're tied with at number 9 here. Still haven't seen the Dolphins, still haven't seen the Bucks, still haven't seen the Colts, and yes, Colts here tied at 9th, easiest schedule. Fantastic. We are looking for Carson Wentz to have a big old season, and he's got an easy kind of schedule to kind of get him acclimated into a new system, a new team, a team that actually wants them to be there, re-teaming up with Frank Reich. The running game is absolutely fantastic. They got great wide receivers. T.Y. Hilton's running it back for one more season. They got Pittman Jr. there as a great number 2, solid number 2, and like we said, they're deep as heck at the running back position. Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, and I'm missing one. I'm always forgetting that third running back, but they're deep, folks. So Carson Wentz getting an easy schedule out here. Great team already around him. I'm telling you, I'm gonna say it right now. This Colts team is going 17-0, folks. They're going 17-0. Easy schedule, great pieces everywhere on this field. They're ready to rock. Alrighty, 8th easiest schedule. Yes, sir, love it. It's the Giants. I want to see this team have so much success. I'm a big believer in Daniel Jones, and I'm kind of a believer in Jason Garrett. I mean, I saw what the Cowboys did the first season without him. Nothing truly impressive. And I mean, I everybody said that Mike McCarthy's so much of a better upgrade over Jason Garrett. And let's take a little bit of a step back here. Jason Garrett did great last season without a running back, just kind of letting Daniel Jones do it all. Didn't really kind of work like that, but now you get Saquon Barkley back. Jason Garrett has a full season under his belt with this team. Daniel Jones can only go up. I mean, I'm seeing this man get better every single season, so here we go. This is it. Do or die here this season for the Giants, and I'm all about it. 8th easiest schedule goes to the Giants. Alrighty, let's see who's up now. Still haven't seen the Bucks, and that's not good. That's not good. They just won the Super Bowl. Now they're about to have the easiest schedule here. So 7th easiest schedule goes to the Panthers. Love to see that as well. I want to see Teddy B get a little bit better. I mean, the Panthers season and the Giants season kind of went equally the same. Both lost their running backs for the entire season. Quarterbacks did very good jobs. Just not having a very good running game is just going to be predictable for the defense. They're only going to kind of play the passing a lot. So Teddy B got it done last season. I expect him to do it again here. Matt Rule, another full season under his belt, getting a little bit of an easier schedule here in 2021. Let's see what now this is do or die as well. Panthers do or die, Giants do or die. Let's see who has got an easier schedule here after the Panthers. What else do we got? What do we got here? All right, tied for the 5th easiest is the Broncos. All righty. Big question marks here whether they're keeping Drew Lock or not. So if this kind of Broncos team wants to go out and draft a quarterback, they got a pretty easy schedule to kind of help them get acclimated while playing if they don't stick with Drew Lock. So they've got some nice pieces all over the field. They still got Melvin Gordon as their running back who kind of, still got it done this season, splitting carries with Phillip Lindsay. And they got Jerry Jeudy, great speedy wide receiver. So it's all going to depend on the quarterback whether they choose Drew Lock or not. But any quarterback that they stick out there should have decent success here the first season. Alrighty, then we get to the Dolphins. Yes, sir, tied for the 5th easiest schedule. Hopefully we can get a nice kind of deep threat wide receiver early in this draft, and then we can that's all we're missing. That's all Tua needs. So great for Tua here. He's got kind of a full, not a full season because he didn't play the entire season, but he's got a nice season under his belt. Now he's got a full off season to work with and an easy schedule to kind of help him get acclimated to the second year. And now you just add a nice weapon for this man. Watch out for the Dolphins to go deep, folks. We're gonna win it all this season. Here we go. We'll go 17-0 as well. All right, now we finally get to the Bucks. 4th easiest schedule, bringing basically every single person back. Unfair. They'll repeat as champions. There it is. We don't even need to watch this season. So they'll win it. All right. Ooh, Atlanta here. 3rd easiest schedule. Interesting. We just saw them kind of talk about kind of everything that's coming out of, Arthur Blank and kind of Falcons management is saying, hey, we're keeping everybody offensively. We're keeping both our wide receivers, Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones, and we're keeping Matt Ryan. So we'll see if they can get it done this season. The lack of success over these last couple seasons for the Falcons have not kind of looked very good for Julio Jones or Matt Ryan, but we'll see what they're able to do here at the 3rd easiest schedule. All right, second easiest schedule goes to the Cowboys, and man, oh man, are they going to need it, because we just saw how they looked without Dak Prescott, and it was truly the most pathetic performance I've ever seen from coaching and players collectively without having a starting quarterback. They all just kind of mailed it in, phoned it in, and said, oh, our starting quarterback went down. All righty. I guess we don't do anything now. What do we do? So Cowboys definitely going to help out Dak Prescott to get kind of rehab from that injury, and we'll see what kind of Mike McCarthy can do with an easy schedule. Is he still going to be making excuses here? We'll see. And then the easiest schedule of 2020 goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Alrighty, I'm kind of impressed with this. They get a new head coach. Doug Peterson's no longer there. R.I.P. Doug Peterson. Jalen Hurts, he's going to get his kind of first official full season under his belt here. So helping out Jalen Hurts a little bit here. I'm all for seeing how Jalen Hurts can kind of take this Eagles team and kind of be the new face of the franchise. Hopefully they treat him a lot better than they treated Carson Wentz, but a nice kind of jump start to this season for the Eagles, having a nice, easy schedule. Alrighty, folks, so there it is. That's 2021, folks. Who's going to come out on top? Those are the hardest and easy schedules here. Everybody having their own kind of adversity to overcome still, and let's see who's going to take advantage of those easy schedules and who's going to get eaten alive by the hard ones. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We can talk about this real quick. Kyle Pitts, I'm sure y'all have all heard of him. We're big about him here on the show. Big old great tight end. Great catching tight end, going to be even better than Darren Waller, most likely. So PFF tweets out the 3 highest graded plays of his career. So let's just watch these 3 plays very quickly. The first one, let's see what he's got over the middle, just kind of getting away from the corner, and look at that finishing speed, folks. Yes, sir. He's got about a solid kind of a half a step inside on the defender, catches it, no problem. No chance of a batted ball, no chance of at a pass breakup. That's how kind of open he is compared to this defender. And then he's got the closing speed to finish off the last 35 yards. Great speed on this man. Watch out. I'm telling you, great, big, fast, can catch the ball. Fantastic. All right, here we go at play number 2 now. The second highest graded play by this man, going deep over the middle of the field. And once again, decently wide open, and nice little stiff arm there to give him even more space, more separation. I mean, look at this, folks. This is solid. Solid. This is 2 steps. This is like 2 full steps on the safety. So not very, or so fantastic for Kyle Pitts. And then that finishing speed again. Look at him go. That stiff arm, breakaway speed. I mean, he nobody's even within like 5 yards once he gets into the end zone. So he's got great over the top speed. Speed can get you beat right on the line, and speed's going to carry him into the end zone after he's already got a half a step on you. And then the highest graded play from Kyle Pitts of his entire career. Let's see what he can do at the 25-yard line. One-on-one coverage, going up and getting the ball. Yes, sir. High pointing the ball like a receiver does. And he's only a tight end. Look at that man work. Defender literally draped all over him. Kyle Pitts still has a solid kind of a half a step on this man. Ball is thrown perfectly over his shoulder. He goes up, gets it, high points the ball, gets in the end zone as well. So this is what this man can bring. Oh, that's we get this in slow-mo. Let's watch this man full screen slow motion. Look at that catch. Fantastic. While getting pass interference. He got a pass interference call on him, and he still caught it for a touchdown. You cannot stop this man legitimately or just trying to cheat as well by drawing a penalty. Watch that man go up. Watch that man go up for this ball. Fantastic. Fantastic. This man's going to be fantastic. He's going to be great. And I'm telling you, he's going to be one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. Alrighty, let's switch over to some NBA stories. What do we got here? Alrighty, Drew Holiday has agreed to a 4-year, $135 million contract extension with the Bucks. Absolutely deserved. I mean, he kind of missed a couple of games here midway season. Ever since he's been back, they've only lost like 3 games out of like 15 or 17 games. So he's what the Bucks miss when he's not on the floor, a true kind of point guard on there to facilitate the floor. We saw kind of Dante DiVincenzo take over for a little bit when Drew Holiday was injured. And it just did not look the same. It wasn't consistent. Drew Holiday, the true kind of floor facilitator, and that's what you need when you got great beef all around you. And Giannis, obviously, Brook Lopez, and Chris Middleton. So nice kind of great pickup here. Truly deserved. They definitely needed to pay him because that's what the Bucks were missing. Just kind of that great kind of point guard when he was out. So definitely needed to pay that man, and they did. Alrighty, the rich get even richer. The Clippers. DeMarcus Cousins is reportedly signing a 10-day contract with the Clippers. Now, we just have seen kind of Serge Ibaka miss a couple of games here. I think he's missed at least 5 to 7 games so far. So maybe the injury to Serge Ibaka is a little bit more concerning. They're not that deep at the big department. Their second big is Zubac, and they don't really have that great of a third. So DeMarcus Cousins, let's see what he can do for this team. I mean, as a starter, what is this man doing as a starter? Here we go. This one. As a starter, and he started 11 games this season, 27 minutes played in those starting roles, and he put up 13 points and 11 rebounds. I mean, absolutely fantastic. That's great work. Now, coming off the bench in 14 games this season, only 6 points and 5 rebounds. So his production does definitely drift off when he does not start. But we'll see kind of what the role they kind of use him in. Is he going to be the starter? Are they going to start Zubac and kind of have him come off the bench? But either way, they're getting depth at the big position that they desperately need. Alrighty, and we've said this, and now people are starting to catch on here. So shout out to Dre to LA on Twitter. Did the Nuggets win the trade deadline? Question mark. Yes, they gosh darn did, and we've been saying that. I mean, Valanciunas just won their first game with the Bulls. Ever since Aaron Gordon came to the Nuggets, they have won, and the production of all their players have not dropped down really any. It's making them better. Here we go. Michael Porter Jr. is shooting 64% from 3 over the last 6 games. Now, I think Aaron Gordon's only been there the last 3 games, but still, he's still consistent. That just proves that Aaron Gordon coming into the starting lineup really isn't taking that great a production away from Michael Porter Jr. or Jokic. They're just kind of getting better. They're still staying the same, but Aaron Gordon is out there still getting great production himself. So this offense is making it work. It's truly a great starting lineup. They haven't lost a game since Aaron Gordon has been implemented into the starting lineup. It's not like they didn't even drop it. They dropped Paul Millsap down to the bench. That's not losing that much production from him. He's great at defense, but he doesn't put up anything really truly too impactful in kind of the offensive stat department, but he gets it done. So yes, I would say they definitely hands down won the trade deadline. They're not losing, folks, and I don't think they'll lose another game, honestly. That's how great that offense is looking. Nobody's taking a step back. You've kind of got 4 number 1 scoring options. Jamal Murray's a number 1 scoring option on any other team, any other, not like the Nets, obviously, just a normal team out there. Jamal Murray can be the number 1 option. Jokic has been the number 1 option this entire season with this team. Michael Porter Jr. is shooting 64% now. He could easily be the number 1 option on a team. And Aaron Gordon, he was kind of the number 1 with the Magic when he was on the floor. So this team has 4 number 1 scorers, and they all can get it done still. So absolutely magnificent. No drop off in production. That's why we say the Nuggets won the trade deadline. All right, and then the last story to cover, oh my goodness, Steph Curry does not know what it feels like to lose, and they are losing this season, folks. Really unfortunate. So the Warriors have lost 7 of 8, and we get a quote here by Steph Curry, quote, "I hope it stings. I hope it's uncomfortable. I hope it motivates you to keep grinding, challenging yourself to get better." Well, we've seen it doesn't, because we've seen Steph Curry absolutely blow his mind on the sideline yelling at these people, and they still don't step up. Steph Curry missed a couple of games here over these last kind of 8 games, 7 of which they lost, and nobody steps it up. So Steph Curry, he's like, I don't know what motivates you, y'all. I just had a great performance last night. I'm trying to get it done. Nobody else is helping me. We have a bad bench. Our starting lineup is decent, but y'all don't really step up on a consistent basis, and we don't really have the bench to kind of make up for your lackluster performance there offensively. I'm trying to do it all myself, and I really hope it stings every time we lose, because I'm a champion. Me and Draymond Green are champions. Andrew Wiggins, you a champion? Oh, you're not. Kelly Oubre Jr., you a champion? Oh, you're not. Kevon Looney, are you a champion? Yeah, because you were with us, I think, for a couple of those runs. James Wiseman, you're a rookie. You're a rookie. You don't even know. You don't even freaking know what it means to even play in this league. Come on. So Steph Curry's like, hey, I'm already a champion. People are already calling me the greatest shooter of all time. This is y'all legacy that you're messing up here. Y'all are not playing good. I'm still doing it, but I hope it stings. I hope it's uncomfortable. I hope y'all trash buckets get a little bit better here. So, talking by Steph Curry doesn't work. They need other pieces. They need players. They need bench depth, which they don't have. So truly unfortunate there by the Warriors. I mean, nothing looking really good here for them. And where are they at currently in the standings? They are currently, number 10 in the West, just on that cutoff of the play-in tournament. And the Pelicans and the Kings are knocking on the door of that 10th seed, because we see the Warriors at 23 wins, Pelicans at 22 wins, and the Kings also at 22 wins. So they're like, hey, it'd be a shame if y'all didn't even make that play-in tournament. So we'll see how the Warriors do after this Steph Curry quote, but we just saw him yelling at them on the bench and it still didn't light a fire under them. So I'm not expecting this quote to do that either. Alrighty, let's quickly preview March Madness tonight. The finals is tonight, Gonzaga and Baylor. So let's just go to our bracket very quickly. And our algorithm hasn't been great this entire tournament. It's been a little hit and miss here and there. But hey, it got us to the final two, Gonzaga and Baylor. We predicted that correctly through our algorithm, and we'll know if we're 100% right on our algorithm with having Gonzaga being the winner. And we also called the score 92-84 in favor of Gonzaga. So we are expecting Gonzaga to win by 8 points. So we'll check the spread in a second and kind of get the great value, because if we're going to call this an 8-point win for Gonzaga, if they're getting, if we have to swallow, 6 or 7 points, we'll do that, because we are firmly standing behind our algorithm here. It got us the right two players in the championship game. So it's a success. I would say that's successful. It also won us our bracket pool. So once again, I would say that's successful. So we'll go with Gonzaga winning. We'll check what the line is and go with that. Like we said, we have won our tournament bracket pool. There's no way these other competitors here, Go Rutgers or HGMF6, can catch us in the point column. So we're going to kind of finish where overall rank is 199,000 and on kind of bracketchallenge.ncaa.com, and we're in the 90th percentile. I would say that's pretty decent success there, folks. So our algorithm will tweak it, for next March Madness, but overall, I would say first year with our algorithm, we'll take it. And if we just kind of compare it to Go Rutgers, what he did, obviously not listening to our algorithm, he gets placed at 744,000. So not that great there, 61 percentile. And HGMF6, geez Louise out here, he's in 1,118,000th place. Not good. He's in the 41 percentile. So I would say overall decent success here by us, and we'll see if Gonzaga can close it out and kind of make we all chose Gonzaga. I mean, they are the clear favorites, but we'll see. All right, now let's talk about what the line is, what the spread is. I think it's going to be a close one, folks. I mean, these are two number one seeds. Baylor was looking real good in their last game. So let's see what we are getting here for the official line. Ooh, yes, sir. Bingo, bango. Love it. Baylor plus 4.5. Gonzaga minus 4.5. We will take that. We just said that Gonzaga's going to win by 8, baby. Come on. We got to believe in our algorithm. Gonzaga minus 4.5. Easy money there. Let's get it. I think Gonzaga gets back to their great defense. I think it holds Baylor a little bit here. And, we all know Gonzaga can put up the points offensively. They've got no problem doing so. They just put up 93 to win the Final Four, where Baylor only put up 78. And Houston only put up 59 points. That was not a game. Baylor won right off the rip because Houston could not score to save their lives. Gonzaga does not have that problem. So, yes, sir. The most points Baylor has ever scored this tournament was 81. 81. Gonzaga hasn't scored under 83 points the entire tournament. So, what are we talking about here? Minus 4 for Gonzaga. They get it done. Baylor does not have that great offensive scoring that Gonzaga has, or even that Gonzaga has seen through this tournament. I mean, they just faced UCLA, who put up 90 points against them. That was the only real team that really rivaled them, and they still won by 3. I know it was a last-second buzzer beater, but hey, I still got to give respect to the man. He made the shot. I'm not going to count it a lucky shot. He banked it off the glass. He played what you do if you're kind of throwing up a what was it, like 2 or 3 steps inside of the half court line, you're going to bank it off the backboard. I mean, you're going to put everything into that throw. So I'm not saying this is a lucky shot or anything like that. They won by luck. I know Skip Bayless is going on luck. It's a little annoying at this point. But I mean, you hit the shot. I mean, you calculated the shot perfectly. I'm not going to count that as luck, man. I'm not. So Gonzaga wins by 3 over UCLA, who put up 90 points. We can swallow the 4.5 here. Gonzaga, congratulations. You are the 2021 March Madness champions. Hopefully we didn't just jinx you there, so we'll knock on wood for you. But we got Gonzaga minus 4.5. Alrighty, let's head over to the NBA. We'll talk about what happened in the NBA. We'll update our MVP and 6th Man of the Year candidate categories and our awards, and we'll also try to squeeze in Tyson Campbell here in our NFL Draft Prospect of the Day. We went a little long on those stories today, so we'll see if we can get to those, which I think we can. We'll see. Alrighty, here we go. From last night, the Nets and the Bulls first game up here, and finally the Bulls get the win. First win with Vucevic in the lineup. So let's see if this can kind of kickstart the Bulls here. The Bulls are currently the 10th seed in the East, and I really want to see what they can do now that Vucevic is here, now that I kind of like their lineup. Thaddeus Young, Vucevic, Zach LaVine, I'm all about those 3 players, so definitely rooting for the Bulls here in the back half of the season, and they get the win over the Nets, who didn't have James Harden, but Kyrie Irving still in the starting lineup. Kyrie Irving can't win the game by himself, but James Harden can, folks. That's what we're talking about. James Harden at MVP. Kyrie Irving, not even the best player on his team, man. Oof. Not going to get carried away with Kyrie Irving slander today, but let's just all point that out. But let's start here with the winning team of the Bulls here. Here we go. The starting lineup, Thaddeus Young still at the 4, Zach LaVine at the 2, and Vucevic at the 5. So this is I'm expecting on what they're going to just kind of rock with for the rest of the season. But here we go. Thomas Satoransky here. 19 points, 11 assists. Fantastic game. He shot 80% as well. Fantastic work. Zach LaVine, 25 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 47%. Got it done. Vucevic, yes, sir. Back to having great performances here by Zach LaVine and Vucevic. That was our one kind of concern that we haven't seen. Vucevic and Zach LaVine have great games together, but we get it right here. Zach LaVine with the 25 points, 5 assists, and Vucevic with the 22 points and 13 rebounds on 58% shooting, so they both got it done. Then we get Thaddeus Young, 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds on 37% shooting, and he was a plus 12 on the floor, the highest plus minus, tied with Vucevic. So the defense there of Thaddeus Young got it done at the 4. Love it. And then Patrick Williams to round out the starters here, 11 points, 3 rebounds on 80% shooting. So a very efficient starting lineup here. And then off the bench, we get Daniel Tice, 10 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. We'll take that. Daniel Tice kind of fitting in decently here for this Bulls team. And Daniel Tice coming off the bench, I love that a lot more than Daniel Tice starting. So the starters here for the Bulls got it done, and now we can start talking about this team realistically as kind of playoff contenders, and I'm all about it now. Vucevic and Zach LaVine got the first win out of their way. Let's see what they can do. Alrighty, we also have to update our NBA awards. We just started this kind of backup on, I believe, Saturday show, where we're kind of making we're starting to talk about these awards every single day now. We've kind of named our top 5 in the MVP race: Giannis, Harden, Joel Embiid, Lillard, and Jokic. And then for the 6th Man of the Year race, Montrose Herald, Jordan Clarkson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Thaddeus Young. Those are kind of the players that we are keeping big track of in those 2 award races. So on every single game that they play, we are going to judge their performance on a -5 to +5 number scale. If you win the game, you get 2 points, and then depending on how you played that game, we either move you minus or plus and give you more points than that. And if you lose the game, we start off at -2 points, and then we start to move you, closer to -5 if you're trash, if your performance was trash, or, closer to +5 if your performance was good in a loss. And if you didn't play the game, we subtract 3 points. You have -3 points for not playing. You cannot not be playing games here at the end of the season where playoff positioning, MVP races are starting to get a little bit more defined here. So if you miss the game, if you don't play in the game, we subtract 3 points from you. So let's go to Thaddeus Young because, he's in our sixth man of the year, so we got to evaluate his performance a little bit closer here. So Bulls get the win. That's 2 points. He was great on the defense with a plus 12. He got 12 points, 10 plus points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. 37% shooting wasn't great, so he gets 2 points for the wins, and then we're going to add an extra point for his kind of performance out here. Good performance compared to everybody else. That's what we're talking about. So we'll give Thaddeus Young 3 points for the performance last night, bringing his grand total up to 5, which is now tied for last, unfortunately, still. So, alrighty, Thaddeus Young at 5 points now. All right, let's start talking about the Nets now. As I said, James Harden did not play in this game. Truly unfortunate, but Kyrie Irving has to pick up the slack, and he can't lead his team to a win here. So what are we talking about, man? James Harden is better than Kyrie Irving. I don't know how many times we have to say that. And I also don't like that Blake Griffin's in the starting lineup. When did that start to become that? No. Still have him come off the bench. I truly think that definitely hurt this starting lineup a little bit, this Nets team a little bit. So, we get Blake Griffin in the starting lineup at the starting 4, and we'll talk about his performance when we get there. But let's start here with Kyrie Irving first. 24 points, 15 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 44%, 0 of 4 from 3, so not great there. But I'll give him the 24 points and 15 assists. It's just, James Harden usually gets wins when he's out there by himself. So Kyrie Irving can't do the same. And, Kyrie Irving saying that he's the best player ever, I'm not really buying it, my man. You're not the number one. You're not a number one on any team you go to. I do not care anymore. I'm over it. This solidifies it right here. I'm over it. Alrighty. Then we get Bruce Brown at the 2 here. 10.6 rebounds. He shot 71%. LaMarcus Aldridge in the starting lineup here at the 5. 11 points, 3 rebounds, a little light in the rebounds, but 11 points, we'll give it to him. Blake Griffin, 10 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. He took 4 threes. We need to cut that down big time. He shot 1 of 4 from 3. Stop with the threes. He was shooting 6 a game in Detroit. And then off the bench, he was shooting like 2 a game. We thought that was fine, but now he's in here back in the starting lineup, testing it a little bit too much out here with the 4. So that's reining it in a little bit. Don't like Blake Griffin in the starting lineup. Have him come off the bench, but we'll see what Steve Nash does when everybody's healthy. And then Joe Harris, a little bit of a light game by him. 11 points and 6 rebounds. He shot 1 of 4 from 3. So definitely could have used a better performance by Joe Harris to help out Kyrie Irving a little bit. Unfortunately, they did not get that. But off the bench, they get Landry Shamet, 13 points off the bench. Love it. And Jeff Green, 21 points off the bench. Fantastic work. So Nets, unfortunately, lose to the Bulls, but very well done for the Bulls of getting their first win with Vucevic. Alrighty, let's move on to the Clippers and the Lakers now in an easy win here for the Clippers. No Andre Drummond, no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis, so there's no reason why this Lakers team would win, obviously. And, it's so funny, Kyle Kuzma having a great game last game, had that quote of, I love this game. I practiced so hard for this game. I'm great, and I just let it fly. And now this game, he can't step up a minus 25 when he's on the floor, the worst of the game. 6 points on 20% shooting for Kyle Kuzma, 0 of 4 from 3. He had 7 rebounds, so I'll give him those rebounds, but everything else truly awful. So it's just so funny, man. Nobody ever steps up consistently on this Lakers team, and another big old loss here. All right, so let's start here with the Clippers before we get into too much there with the Lakers. I was ready about to spaz on Kuzma a little bit. But here we go. For the Clippers, Rondo made an appearance off the bench. We'll talk about him when we get to him. But Reggie Jackson, 6 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Not very good. Shot 25%. Paul George, 16 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. He shot 2 of 4 from 3 and 42% overall from the field, so not terrible. Zubac, the starter here because of no Serge Ibaka. So Zubac gets 6 points, 9 rebounds. He was also a plus 23 on the floor. I mean, they won by a big margin, so I mean, everybody's going to have a big plus minus out here. And then Marcus Morris, 22 points, 7 rebounds. He shot 4 or 5 from 3, and he was just cashing in all night. So wonderful game by Marcus Morris. He was the leading scorer of the squad, so very well done. And then that brings us to Kawhi Leonard, 19 points, 2 steals, 8 assists, 10 rebounds. Super consistent here. 2 of 2 from the 3 and 53% overall, so a magnificent game here from Kawhi, getting it done in literally every facet of the game. We love it. Alrighty, Rondo making his appearance off the bench, only playing 12 minutes off the bench, 2 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 1 rebound, and shooting 33%. He was also a +2 on the floor. So we'll see, obviously, him getting more and more minutes out here. We'll see if he ends up kind of rivaling Reggie Jackson for the starting kind of point guard position when Patrick Beverley is not there. We'll also see if he can rival Patrick Beverley as a starting point guard once he kind of gets back. I don't think so, but we'll see what happens. And then let's shout out Luke Kennard out here off the bench, 15 points in 18 minutes. Love it. Alrighty, now let's get to this lackluster Los Angeles Lakers team, shall we? Nobody steps up except for Montrose mother-loving Herald, leading scorer, and he didn't even start. That's what we're freaking talking about, baby. So Montrose Herald, Sixth Man of the Year candidate, according to us. So we'll kind of judge his performance in a second, but let's get to the starters first. Dennis Schroeder, 8 points, 7 assists. He shot 25%. Once again, nobody stepping up. KCP, 8 points on 33% shooting. Once again, nobody stepping up here. Marc Gasol, 11 points, 3 rebounds. Markieff Morris, 9 points, 5 rebounds. And then that brings us to Kyle Kuzma, the 6 points on 20% shooting. Nobody ever steps up, man. So save the quotes, Kuzma, of how you're so freaking good and you love the game and you practice so much. You're obviously not a number 1, you're not a number 2, you're not a number 3, you're a bench player elevated to a starter when all the good players are out. So let's rein in those horses a little bit, Kuz. Alrighty, Montrose Herald off the bench, leading scorer for the squad. Off the bench. Can we give it up for Montrose Herald, folks? 19 points, 6 rebounds on 58% shooting. Fantastic work. Let's also shout out Talen Horton-Tucker as well. 16 points, 5 rebounds on 50% shooting. Good night by him. Also off the bench, but none of the starters could get it done. So unfortunate for the Lakers. Now, Montrose Herald is our Sixth Man of the Year candidate here, so we got to judge his performance and assign points to his performance. So they get the -2. We have to start him at -2 for a loss there, but his performance out here, a leading scorer of the squad, a -4 out on the floor, 19 points. Fantastic. I think we're going to elevate his points to +1. We'll give him +1 out here. Fantastic work, being consistent out there. So Montrose Herald with 6 points already. We give him 1 for last night's performance. He is now tied for first in our Sixth Man of the Year race here with Jordan Clarkson, both at 7 points. So very well done to Montrose Herald. Absolutely love what this man does. Super consistent every single game, and I absolutely love it. So Montrose Herald, very well done. Montrose Herald should be having quotes after every single game being like, man, oh man, I just love this game so much. I put in so much work, like Kyle Kuzma did with that quote, that ridiculous quote of having one good game. Wild. All right. Let's keep on going here. Celtics and the Hornets, and a big old win here for the Celtics. And once again, I mean, no Gordon Hayward, definitely hurting this Hornets team a little bit too much here. So a little unfortunate. Can't really see this Hornets team being really where they were or winning more games. So man, oh man, it was a good run, Hornets, but I think it's going to be, I don't think you're going to be keeping, wow, they already dropped a big time here. Remember, they were the 4th seed coming into this game. Now they've dropped down all the way down to that 6th seed, so it's going to be a matter of time. They've got a nice little 5-game cushion here between the 6th seed and the 10th seed, but they're not going to be winning any more games, unfortunately, so. Alrighty, so let's start here with the Celtics. Evan Fournier, he is making it work with this team now. Alrighty, that first game, really bizarre, like 0 of 10 shooting, 0 points overall, but ever since that first game, he's been able to kind of get it into rhythm here for the Celtics team, so very well done, and I'm now excited. We can start talking about this Celtics team as a good team, as a solid team, potentially one that can get into the top 10 of our power rankings come Friday when we re-update our list, but this is what we're talking about. Celtics was starting to win games now. So here we go. Let's talk about them first. Kemba Walker, 12 points, 6 assists. He shot 2 of 9 from 3. So once again, those threes are a little bit too much there. Got to tone that down. He could take like 5 threes. I'm down with him taking 5 threes a game, but these 9, 10, it's not efficient when he's reaching those numbers. All right, Marcus Smart, though, 12 points, 4 assists, 4 of 7 from 3. That's who we need taking all those threes. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. One of those, not Kemba. Robert Williams still having great performances out here at the starting 5. Love it, man. This man is really getting it done. 16 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 8 rebounds. 4 of those offensive. That's what we're talking about. Great night by him. Jason Tatum, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 3 of 9 from 3, 53% overall. And then Jaylen Brown, 17 points, 6 assists, or 6 rebounds, and 5 of 8 from 3. So overall, great night here by the starters. Everybody in double digits there in the points, and that's what we're talking about. Then we get the bench. Evan Fournier, 17 points, 6 assists off the bench on 4 of 5 from 3, cashing out, yes sir, and 5 of 9 from just the field overall. So great night by Evan Fournier. He brings the depth to their bench. He brings the shooting consistency on the bench now, and now we're talking about almost a complete Celtics team. They also got Romeo Langford back. This was his first game back. He's been injured, I think, basically the entire season. Only played 12 minutes, but got 3 points and 1 assist and 1 rebound. So we'll keep an eye on Romeo Langford. Can he kind of, be another good scoring potential here off the bench here for the Celtics? But overall, all in all, Celtics get the win. Back on track now. Celtics are now potentially playoff contenders. So. Alrighty, now the Hornets, it's just a little bit too much now. They just not as deep anymore because now they have to make up for Monk, LaMelo Ball, and Gordon Hayward. It's just a little bit too much here. So here we go. Terry Rozier, 22 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. He shot 42% and 3 of 9 from 3. Pretty decent game overall. Devontae Graham, 11 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Bismack Biyombo, 6 points, 3 rebounds. Miles Bridges, 10 points, 5 rebounds. And then PJ Washington, 3 points, 3 rebounds. So not the big old scoring potential that they're used to. PJ Washington filling in at the 3 for Gordon Hayward is not even having close to the same potential there. I mean, he shot 16%, PJ Washington. So, and now look at their bench. I mean, nobody even at 10 plus points there off the bench. We get a couple of 7s. Brad Wanamaker with 7 points and 3 assists. Cody Zeller with 7 points and 7 rebounds. But it's just nobody's going to be able to make up that scoring production from Gordon Hayward in the starting lineup. And then nobody's going to make up the scoring output from those bench players that are now starting players. Unfortunate here. So Hornets lose. Not good. Unfortunate. 116-86 over the Celtics. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here to the 76ers and the Grizzlies. Joel Embiid is back out. Unfortunate here for the 76ers, so we are going to have to deduct some points from him. So let's do that now. We are going to have to, unfortunately, subtract 3 points from Joel Embiid's total because his point total because he did not play in the game, so you get minus 3 points for that. Alrighty, so let's start here, and they lost the game, not great at all. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's start here with the Grizzlies. Great win by them, finally above 500, yes sir. Where are the Grizzlies right now in the standings? The 8th seed, 1 game above 500, yes sir. Memphis Grizzlies back above 500. The roller coaster continues, so you know what that means. The next game is a guaranteed loss for this Grizzlies team to go back to 500. But let's talk about them, here we go. John Morant, 8 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, and he only took 8 shots all game. 1 of 2 from the 3 and 37% from the field. So overall, a decent game. Got it done on the defensive end and the assisting end. Grayson Allen, a good game by him. 15 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He wasn't efficient from the 3. 4 of 13 from the 3, but I'll give him the 15 points there. Jonas Valanciunas, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 5 of those rebounds offensive, so a great night by him. Kyle Anderson, 10 points and 6 rebounds, and then Dylan Brooks to 17 points on 66% shooting and adding 5 rebounds and 3 assists. So overall, the starters kind of all got it done. And then look at this bench, folks. Fantastic. DeAnthony Melton, 14 points and 15 minutes off the bench. Brandon Clark, 15 minutes and 21 minutes off the bench. And then Desmond Bane, 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 23 minutes off the bench. So this is what the Grizzlies needed, just kind of consistency here off the bench. They got it. The starters all got it done, and they're able to beat a Joel Embiid-less 76ers team. All right, let's go to the 76ers now. Who did not step up? Well, Danny Green comes to mind. 6 points with only 2 of 6 from the 3, so not great there. Tobias Harris had 21 points, but I want to say a lot of those points, 15 to 16 of those points came in the first quarter, or kind of the first quarter and the first 6 minutes of the second quarter. So really kind of front loaded in the points here, kind of trailed off there as the game progressed, but he had 21 points and 8 rebounds and 3 assists, leading scorer for the squad. He's always that consistent. So we're never worrying about Tobias Harris on this team. Mike Scott fills in for Joel Embiid at the starting 5, 9 points, 3 rebounds, nothing like what Joel Embiid brings to this team. Seth Curry also doesn't step it up. Classic game. 3 points on 16% shooting. 1 of 5 from 3. Awful. And then Ben Simmons, only 7 points, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds. So definitely a little light on what he can do. So just nobody really stepping it up truly to make up the lack, or just to make up the production that Joel Embiid brings on a game-to-game basis. Alrighty, but let's talk about their bench, because Dwight Howard has 9 points and 12 rebounds. That's what we're talking about. Love having Dwight Howard on this team. He's really just kind of stepping up into his own. Potential 6-man. I would probably say, out of the, the front runners of 6-man of the year, I would definitely say Dwight Howard is kind of outside looking in, and definitely had a nice opportunity to compete for that. Just a little bit lackluster in kind of the first stage, maybe the first half of the season, but has really started to been picking it up a lot more consistently here as the season progresses. So I definitely want to shout out Dwight Howard. He's really still getting it done out here. Consistent piece out here for the squad. Love his work. All right, Shake Milton also put up 14 points off the bench in only 16 minutes. And let's also shout out Paul Reed, 10 points and 6 rebounds in 13 minutes off the bench. So we'll give it up to him. So just overall, the starters really couldn't get it done. The bench had some nice scoring production out here. Just unfortunate the 76ers starters could not get it done without Joel Embiid. So 76ers lose by 16 out here, 116-100 over the Grizzlies. Alrighty, moving on to the Hawks and the Warriors, and this is the game that Steph Curry got the quote from, that, he's hoping it stings, hoping this loss stings because y'all are some garbage pieces out here. All right, so let's start here with the Hawks. Trae Young getting it done. 13 points, only 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Didn't play very well. 27% from the field. So definitely could have been a little bit better. He also had 7 turnovers. So that was actually not a good game by him. But other people kind of step up and get it done. So that's always promising when Trae Young doesn't have to be the one himself getting it done. Bogdanovich here, 10 points, 5 assists. He also didn't shoot well either. 30% from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, not bad. Clint Capella had 24 points and 18 rebounds. Yes, sir. Clint Capella really kind of picking up the slack of Trae Young a little bit. And that's why we love this Hawks team. Trae Young and Clint Capella combined really get it done. And, Trae Young has a little bit of a light game, and Clint Capella picks up that great scoring production with the 24 points. Fantastic. Solomon Hill in the starting lineup, 5 points, 5 rebounds. And then Kevin Huerter back in the starting lineup, 10 points, 4 assists. 2 of 7 from 3, 36% overall. Not that great, but they got great help from this bench, folks. Danilo Gallinari, yes, sir, stepping up absolutely masterfully. 25 points, 10 rebounds off the bench. He shot 2 of 5 from 3, but he got to the line 15 times. So great production there from him. And then Lou Williams, yes, sir, here, 15 points and 3 rebounds. He shot 2 of 3 from 3, fantastic. 33% overall from the field. Definitely could use a little bit of work, but we're talking 15 plus points off the bench from Lou Williams. That's all they need him to do. Trae Young, Clint Capella really get it done scoring, and then Danilo Gallinari and Lou Williams off the bench. Those are some dangerous scorers out there. So now we're talking about a good Hawks team. They're on a nice little 3-game winning streak here. We just put them at number 10 in our power rankings on Friday, so definitely made the right decision of sticking them at number 10 here, and they're paying off, and they're kind of working and showing us that they belong in our power rankings. So if they keep on winning, folks, we'll keep on moving them up in our power rankings. And I'm telling you, Lou Williams, just consistent offense here, and he's kind of making Danilo Gallinari better. I don't know if Danilo Gallinari has had a great game like this coming off the bench, and I think Lou Williams just kind of brings this bench team together. So I'm all about this Hawks team now that Lou Williams is here, playing consistently, having him come off the bench. It's great production from there, and it's really kind of elevating the other plays around him. So all about this Hawks team. Alrighty. All right, let's talk about the Warriors now. They ended up losing. Steph Curry does what Steph Curry does. 37 points, only 2 assists and 5 rebounds. But we'll give him the 37 points. Wasn't efficient from 3 of 12 from 3, but 52% overall from the field. So we'll take that. Good night here by Steph Curry. Kelly Oubre Jr. also had a pretty good night here. 20 points, 11 rebounds. He shot 2 of 6 from 3, but 56% overall from the field. So that's what we're talking about. Kelly Oubre Jr. just really kind of 20-plus points. That's kind of where we want Kelly Oubre, and he put up 20. So that's what we're talking about. James Wiseman back in the starting lineup at the starting center. 8 points, 5 rebounds. He was a +3 in this game, so we'll give it up for him. Draymond Green, 11 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Great night by Draymond Green, just getting it done in every facet of the game. He had 4 steals as well, and he was a +9 in this 6-point loss. So that's actually real good. And he was the leading plus on the floor for his squad. So Draymond Green gets it done defensively. Back at it defensively. And then Andrew Wiggins to round out the starters, 16 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 3 of 7 from 3 and 50% overall. A classic Andrew Wiggins game. So overall, the starters all kind of got it done here. These are great performances. These are good, solid winning performances here by this Warriors starting roster. But like we said, they've got really no good bench at all. Kent Bazemore played 15 minutes and only put up 2 points. Kevon Looney, 2 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. Damian Lee, 9 points. He was the leading scorer off the bench, but it's not going to be enough, man. It's not going to be enough. I mean, we're seeing this Hawks team off the bench put up 40 points between 2 players. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is this? 6 players off the bench here for the Warriors, and they can't even get close to that 40 points that those 2 players for the Hawks put up. So Warriors, they didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. Definitely is going to hurt them because there's no solid scoring outside of Steph Curry, and there's really no great scoring production besides Steph Curry, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Andrew Wiggins. Nobody really gets it done. So very, very lackluster scoring threat besides Steph Curry, and that's why they're barely winning games out here. So Hawks get the win, 117-111 over the Warriors. Alrighty, now let's go to the Pelicans and the Rockets now. Lonzo Ball back in the lineup, and we may have to apologize to this man because this man just had an absolutely great game. We just kind of called this man trash the other day, and we've been getting slack on that in our YouTube channel, just downvoted into oblivion. People are making fun of me, calling me names, so definitely was not well received that I called out Lonzo Ball. The Lonzo Ball stands, the Kyrie Irving stands, the Russell Westbrook stands are some of the most annoying stands, the fans in all of basketball. But Lonzo Ball gets it done here, especially with no Zion Williamson out there and no Brandon Ingram out there. So he gets it done by himself out here. So let's shout out Lonzo Ball. 27 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, and he shot 8 of 15 from 3. So fantastic work there. A great game by Lonzo Ball. So we will apologize for calling him trash, but I mean, let's start being a little bit more consistent. Let's start winning games. Let's start getting into nice playoff positioning here, because currently this Pelicans team is not even in the play-in tournament. So let's start getting some games together. Let's overtake that 10th seed by the Warriors, and let's have Lonzo Ball starting to be a little bit of a bigger piece of why they're winning games out here. So Lonzo Ball, great night by him. Alrighty, Eric Bledsoe also had a pretty good night out here. 19 points, wasn't efficient, 26% from the field and 4 of 12 from 3, so definitely could have been a little bit better, but we're talking about points. We need scoring, and Eric Bledsoe put up 19 points, so we'll give it to him. Steven Adams, 12 points, 11 rebounds, great work. Jackson Hayes in the starting lineup, love seeing that, 11 points, 7 rebounds, a minus 11 on the floor, so the defense definitely has to get better. I mean, in a win, you really can't be a minus. He's the only one that was a minus, a negative on the floor, so hopefully Jackson Hayes can get a little bit better. I mean, he hasn't been in the starting lineup all season, so definitely a little bit different than what he's used to, but love that he's getting some nice quality minutes, 29 minutes out there. And then James Johnson also getting in the starting lineup, and he had a great night. 18 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists, 7 rebounds on 50% shooting from the field and 1 of 5 from 3. So it wasn't efficient from the 3, but the points were there. He was a plus 17 in those 33 minutes. So let's give it up for James Johnson. He may have kind of earned himself a lot more kind of playing time out here. So that's fantastic. Players stepping up in the absence of Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. That's what we're talking about. And then here we go off the bench. Najee Marshall, 12 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and then Willie Hernangomez, 15 points and 12 rebounds. So really overall, a lot of greatness here by this Pelicans team. All the starters really got it done. And we got some nice, solid contributions here off the bench. So Pelicans, an absolutely great game here against this Rockets team. Now let's see if this kind of Pelicans team can continue on this great stretch of everybody playing well. And like I said, let's start winning some games, because I want to see this Pelicans team in the playoffs, folks. I want to see them kind of be decent and potentially, upset a first rounder. Alrighty, let's talk about the Rockets now. No John Wall, unfortunately for them. He does not play, but Christian Wood is there. And also, Daniel House Jr. also leaves the game in the second quarter, which definitely hurt them. He only played 11 minutes overall. And I forgot to mention, Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the Pelicans also got injured and got taken out of the game in the second quarter as well. So, two decent pieces for both those teams, unfortunately, leaving the game. Alrighty, let's talk about this Rockets team now. Here we go. Kevin Porter Jr., newly acquired here. 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 of 3 from 3, 33% overall from the field. Not terrible. Sterling Brown, 12 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 50% overall, 2 of 4 from 3. Christian Wood still getting it done. Man, oh man, that man's great. 15 points, 12 rebounds. Jashawn Tate, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And then Daniel House Jr., like we said, leaving the game kind of midway second quarter, only 1 point in 11 minutes. Now let's talk about the bench, because this Kelly Olynyk pickup for the Rockets has been the best move the Rockets have made all season long. Kelly Olynyk coming off the bench, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 of 13 from 3. He's really flourishing here on this Rockets kind of scheme. And it's working to perfection. Now, if John Wall, if he can consistently start to play and be in that starting lineup, now we're talking about a pretty solid squad here. If Kelly Olynyk coming off the bench, you still got Christian Wood in the starting lineup, John Wall, Kevin Porter Jr., have Sterling Brown come off the bench, and I mean, we've got some nice scoring production here off the bench, but we need John Wall to start playing more consistently here. What is his injury/illness? That's the reason. But man, oh man, gotta be out there for your squad. So overall, not bad here. And this is still a team that I can decently buy into, this Rockets team. This is not the Rockets team where they were for that giant stretch when they lost like 17 games in a row. This is kind of the new Rockets team after the trade deadline Rockets team that we can buy into, in certain circumstances, if John Wall and company everybody is playing. Alrighty. Last game of the night. Let's head over to that. The Nuggets and the Magic, and yes, sir, another game for this Nuggets team and another win. So let's start with this Nuggets team. Jamal Murray, Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. all having great success out here. So here we go. Jamal Murray, 22 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Will Barton, 15 points, 8 rebounds. He even is still getting even better he's kind of the fifth option here scoring-wise. Will Barton's honestly like the sixth best scorer on this Nuggets team if we're just looking at the starting lineup. I'm taking Jamal Murray, Jokic, Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. all over Will Barton, obviously, but I'm also taking them all again. I'm taking one of them again. Will Barton's the sixth best of this starting lineup here, but he still got it done. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Fantastic work. Jokic still getting it done. 17 points, 16 assists, 9 rebounds. Fantastic. Aaron Gordon, yes, sir, led the team in scoring. 24 points, 7 rebounds on 76% shooting. Magnifico. And then Michael Porter Jr., once again, still getting it done. I mean, we have to say that after every player because they're all still getting it done, folks. It's wild. 20 points, 12 rebounds. Yes, sir. Now, off the bench, they also got some nice production here from Monte Morris, 10 points in 17 minutes off the bench. So this starting lineup really all get it done themselves. They don't really rely too much on their bench, so we'll see kind of how that affects them going deeper towards the end of the season and into the playoffs, because this starting lineup, I mean, they're all playing, 37 minutes by Murray, 34 minutes by Barton, 37 minutes by Jokic, 34 minutes by Aaron Gordon, 35 minutes for Michael Porter Jr. There's really nobody getting consistent quality minutes out there off the bench. So the starters of this Nuggets team is really what they are. This is what they are right here, 1 through 5. That's how they win the games. Alrighty, Jokic is in our MVP race here, so we have to judge his performance. They get the win, so we started him off with 2 points right off the rip. And, I mean, he was a plus 15 on the floor, the highest of the plus-minus, tied with Jamal Murray. He had a double-double, very close to a triple-double, and that's what we're talking about. So we'll probably give him another point here just because of the great defense and the assisting production from him. But overall, I mean, compared to all of his other players, all of his other starting lineup, you can't give give him too many more points. But that's not a knock on Jokic. We're talking about a full great team here. So we'll give Jokic 3 points, moving his total up to 4 points now, and he moves tied for second with Lillard and Harden there for our MVP race. Alrighty, let's talk about the Magic now. I mean, pretty decent game. I mean, yeah, they lost by 10, but I mean, like I said, I mean, this team is really kind of getting it done. Everybody really getting it done here. I mean, look at all these players in double plus figure category in the point department. RJ Hampton, 16 points. Dwayne Bacon, 8 points, but he had 4 assists and 6 rebounds to go along with that. Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5, graded pickup for them, 16 points, 9 rebounds. Chuma Okeke, 19 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. And James Ennis III, 17 points, 5 assists. So great work there by the starters. And then here off the bench, we get Terrence Ross putting up 19 points, leading the team in scoring, tied with Chuma Okeke. And then Mo Bamba getting some nice minutes out here, 13 minutes, put up 11 points and 4 rebounds. So this Magic team, they're all scrappy. They're all kind of looking to be that next guy going into next season. Let us still be on this team in the starting lineup, or let us kind of go to a competitive team, a championship competitor team, and let me come off the bench and be solid production there. So everybody kind of playing for the future here for the Magic, and they're kind of getting it done. It's truly impressive, this Magic team. Love it. So Nuggets get the win 119-109 over the Magic, and that is all that happened in the NBA last night. Let me just double check to make sure that we got everybody accounted for in our award races. Oh, we got to do something with James Harden. So -3 for not winning for James Harden, but I think we're gonna give him a +1 because the team flourished. The team floundered. Kyrie Irving couldn't do what James Harden does, which is win when he's the only superstar out there. So I think that kind of helps James Harden case a little bit. So we're gonna give him 1 point there and give his total up to 5. So he is now the leader here, and I think we've accounted for everybody else here. Alrighty. Montrose Herald and Jordan Clarkson are now tied for the 6th man of the year, and James Harden is the front runner with 5 points in our MVP race. Alrighty, so that is all the NBA from last night. Let's see what's on tap in today's action. Probably, well, I know, no nationally televised games today, unfortunately, because of March Madness. So after tomorrow, we should be right back on schedule with pretty much nationally televised games every single day now. So hopefully we start to see some of that. But here we go. What's on tap for tonight? Nets, Knicks. Ooh, okay. Alrighty. Battle of New York. Let's see if James Harden is back. Hopefully. I mean, he's missing too many games out here. Got to get him back in. So Nets, Knicks at 7 o'clock. Wizards, Raptors, Jazz, Mavericks. That should be a good one, Jazz Mavericks. Kings, Wolves, Thunder, Pistons, Spurs, Cavs, Rockets, and the Suns. Alrighty, let's find out where the great value is. Let's remind you guys one more time what our March Madness pick is. Gonzaga -4.5. So we'll get this off the board. Alrighty, here we go. First game up, Knicks, Nets. Knicks +6. Nets -6. All right, a little interesting here. Let's see who's in and out here. Mitchell Robinson out for the Knicks. That is it. And then for the Nets, Blake Griffin is out to rest. I mean, he's on back-to-backs. This man's playing in the starting lineup and then resting the next game. What is that? Kevin Durant is still out. Unfortunate. He should be making his debut anytime now. Tyler Johnson out. Landry Shamet out as well. So James Harden is playing and Kyrie Irving is playing here. I would expect this game to be a little tight here. Let's go to NBA Fantasy Labs because I want to make sure that Kevin Durant is definitely not playing here. So let's definitely see if we can get that. Yeah, Kevin Durant remains out Monday. That was 26 minutes ago. So looks like he may not be making his debut, or well, kind of not his debut, but his return here to the Nets. All right, Nets have been disappointing us a little bit every time we've been betting them. We just bet them last night -2, and they can't even beat the Bulls. Pathetic. So, yes, James Harden is back, but the way this Knicks team is playing, let's see if they can kind of keep it up. They just won their last meeting against the Pistons kind of in blowout fashion, 125-81. And we know this Knicks team doesn't really challenge greatness too well, but battle for New York, that whole scenario playing in, they're just coming off of a dominant win. So we're going to stay away from this game and just learn from it. Let's see what James Harden can do back in this lineup. Alrighty, next game up, Jazz and the Mavericks. Jazz -4.5, Mavericks +4.5 here. Alrighty, let's see who's in and out for this squad, for these teams. Alrighty, Juwan Morgan is game time decision for the Jazz. Not really too big there. And then for the Mavericks, J.J. Redick is out. Willie Cauley-Stein is out. Kristaps Porzingis is a game time decision, so we'll see if he'll play, but I'm ready to rock with this Jazz team. I mean, they're on a 9-game winning streak, folks. They're just above and beyond just kind of the middle of the pack teams, and this Mavericks team is still kind of middle of the pack in my opinion. So, I mean, these 9 games that the Mavericks have won, I mean, they beat the Magic by like 40 points. They beat the Bulls by 7. They beat the Grizzlies by about 4, and that's kind of where I would put this Mavericks team kind of very close to what the Grizzlies team is. And remember, the Jazz faced the Grizzlies kind of like 3 times in the same week. So they beat the Grizzlies once by 3, then once by 16, and then once by 4. But they can still get it done. They blew out the Nets. They beat the Bulls by like 30. They beat the Raptors by 3. And then their last loss was to the Wizards. So, which was when was this? March 18th was their last loss. So we're going to still be riding with this Jazz team, especially with Kristaps Porzingis being a game-time decision. Usually when he's a game-time decision, he just doesn't play, really. So still don't have an update on him, so I'm assuming he's probably not going to play. And we're going to take the Jazz -4.5 here. Love this Jazz team. They get it done. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Cavs and the Spurs. Cavs +9.5. Spurs -9.5. Alrighty. We know this Cavs team is very lackluster scoring the ball. Larry Nance Jr. is still out, and Jarrett Allen is still out. So we'll immediately stay away from the Cavs because Jarrett Allen is a huge piece of their offensive production. For the Spurs, we get who's out here? Georgie Dieng is a game-time decision. Drew Eubanks is a game-time decision. And Lonnie Walker is out. So decent number of players out for the Spurs. Nothing too concerning. But for the Cavs, I mean, they're just so lackluster offensively. We can't even take the 9. And you know how we feel about the Spurs. Just really nothing consistent here. Never. They're never consistent. They're one of the most inconsistent teams there are. So we'll stay away from this one. Spread is too big to play around with. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Kings and the Timberwolves. Kings -4, Timberwolves +4. 2 real not good teams here. For the Kings, Hassan Whiteside's a game-time decision, and Marvin Bagley is out. And then for the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio's a game-time decision. D'Angelo Russell, game-time decision, so hopefully he plays. I mean, the last game he was a game-time decision and didn't play, so let's see if he's in the starting lineup here. Malik Beasley, also a game-time decision, and Jalen Noel, a game-time decision. So we know what this Kings team can do offensively, put up the points, but we're going to stay away from it. Like we said, just 2 not great teams, really could go either way, especially if D'Angelo Russell is playing. Would definitely be interested to see what this Timberwolves team can do, so we'll stay away from this one and learn from it. Alrighty, and then what else do we get here up on deck? Wizards, Raptors. Wizards +5, Raptors -5. Alrighty, I'm kind of leaning toward the Raptors -5 a little bit here. They just had an unbelievable performance, putting up 130 points, and that was just a frustrating win for them. I mean, they're just like, you know what? We're a lot better than what our record indicates, but we're not winning, and then they just took all that energy out on the Warriors and disgraced the Warriors there. But here we go. For the Wizards, Bradley Beal, game-time decision. Rui Hachimura is out, and Daniel Gafford is also out for the Wizards. And then for the Raptors here, Kyle Lowry still out. Damn it, Kyle. Rodney Hood is out. Damn it, Rodney. Fred VanVleet is a game-time decision. And then Paul Watson is out, and Patrick McCaw is out. Alrighty. So basically just kind of Fred VanVleet being a game-time decision. A little concerning there. If we can get a kind of confirmation that he's going to play, I would take the Raptors -5 there. Doesn't look like we're going to get anything, any updates on Fred VanVleet. But it seems like he is definitely not going to play, unfortunately. So I think we're going to stay away from this one. I was kind of leaning toward the Raptors -5, but the Fred VanVleet not being there, that's definitely going to hurt them. If Kyle Lowry was still out, we would have still swallowed the 5 there for the Raptors. So we'll stay away from this one. Fred VanVleet being a game-time decision. Not great. Darn it. Alrighty. Last 2 games up here. Pistons, Thunder. Pistons -3, Thunder +3. Alrighty. I'm assuming Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still not back here for the Thunder, unfortunately. But let's double check. For the Pistons, Wayne Ellington is out. Mason Plumlee's out for the Pistons. That's kind of their best big. So Thunder may be able to have some nice success here. Rodney McGruder is also out. Alrighty. And then for the Thunder, what do we get here? Mike Muscala is out. Isaiah Roby is out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still out. Lugent Dort is still out. Damn it. Darius Baisley's out. Damn, everybody's out for this Thunder team. Darn. Alrighty. So, going to have to stay away from that one as well. Way too many outs there for the Thunder, but the +3 was looking decent, but too many outs there. And then the last game of the night, the Suns and the Rockets. Suns -14, Rockets +14. Alrighty. For the Suns, Frank Kaminsky and Abdel Nader are both out. And then for the Rockets, Aaron Gordon is still out. John Wall is still out. Damn you, John. Daniel House Jr. is still out. He just got out last game. And David Waba is still out. So, like we just said, we have to stay away from this Rockets-Suns game now. 14 is just too much to swallow here for the Suns. They should be able to cover it, no problem. But we just not going to buy it 100% here. So, Jazz -4.5. Is that the only good value we see here today? Damn. Truly damn. Alrighty. I think we're going to just be rocking with our little old lone one-teamer here with the Jazz -4.5. Can't really get any great value elsewhere. A lot of outs. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us today. We're not going to be able to get to our draft prospect today. Just went a little bit late today. We'll hit on them tomorrow. Alright, but let's see if anything is breaking as we were live. They had an offer for Lonzo. Oh, we already kind of said that, I think. Lonzo Ball potential trade to the Warriors, and they declined it. So we'll talk about that tomorrow on the show. Alrighty, anything else good? Anything else? Yeah, the Nets make it official and rule Kevin Durant out tonight. Alrighty. And Blake Griffin is definitely out in a back-to-back. And James Harden's playing. We knew that. Alrighty. Alrighty. Nothing else seems to be breaking. Okay, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Oh, Aaron Rodgers on Jeopardy tonight, making his kind of 2-week debut as the host of Jeopardy. Let's see how he's sounding here. Let's see this. Saying it's an incredible honor to guest host. He also won Celebrity Jeopardy. Nice little tribute to Alex Smith here. Or not Alex Smith, Alex Trebek. We'll see how he does, man. I mean, we all know it's a big kind of uphill battle for Aaron Rodgers to kind of have success as a host. That's not Alex Trebek. So we'll see how he does. We'll see if he's kind of the main guy. We'll see if this is what he does after football. And we'll see what happens. But he's making his audition. Make these 2 weeks count, Aaron. Not like you made the freaking NFC Championship game not count. Do a little bit better. Close on the final round of Jeopardy. Close it out, please. So we'll see how he does tonight on Jeopardy for the next 2 weeks. Alrighty. So that is going to do it for us today, folks. That's going to do it. Alrighty, we're back tomorrow, live noon Eastern, doing the same thing again, folks, like we always do here on the Daily. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And hey, Gonzaga, go and get the freaking win today. Go and get the win. Gonzaga, get it done. Alrighty. Aaron Rodgers, get it done as well. But Gonzaga, get it done a little bit more. Alrighty, we're out of here.